And we back. Now I know this is the earliest you've ever seen a video from me, but I figured it's Memorial Day, right? It is Memorial Day. It is Memorial Day. Everybody's out of school, so let's drop some early access Kenny. Welcome back. Today we're doing another one of those NBA opinion videos where people write in their unpopular opinion and I comment on other people's opinion, whether or not I agree or disagree. It's always controversial because I got some wacky NBA opinions myself, but I think it should be a lot of fun. Let's head over to it. DeMar DeRozan winning MVP? Probably not. Actually, I would bet all the money in the world that he will not end up winning the MVP. Don't get me wrong. DeMar DeRozan is a great NBA player, but he's not top tier great that you usually see at MVP levels, right? Last year, he averaged 27 points per game. That's incredible and all. But for some reason, when I look at the 27 points per game, it doesn't scream MVP to me. Well, on the other hand, we got guys that are lining up for the MVP. This year, we're going to have James Harden win it, most likely, right? Next year, we have people like Giannis coming into play. Anthony Davis is probably going to be in conversations. And you still got to count in James Harden. You still got to count in LeBron, Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook. Can you legitimately tell me that DeMar DeRozan next year or sometime in his career is going to end up having a better season than all 6 of these guys, all 7, all 8? And then you got younger guys coming up. I just don't see it in DeMar DeRozan's future. And that's no knock because we know DeMar DeRozan to be a great NBA player, but he's not tier 1 like some of these other guys are that not championships, but MVPs. Look, I'm throwing subtle drops at DeMar DeRozan in his playoff performances. No disrespect. Which team has the brightest future in the league? The Boston Celtics or the Philadelphia 76ers? This is perfect because I wanted to talk about what I saw pretty much this entire season, mostly dealing with the Boston Celtics. If I had to give you an answer right here, right now, which team has the brightest future, I'm probably going to go with Boston. Think about it. This Boston team was 10 points away from being in the finals without their all-star point guard and their all-star small forward. They were missing 2 of their best players, and they were 10 points away from being in the finals. And all of this team is coming back next year. Jaylen Brown is going to be one year more experience, which means he'll probably be better. Jason Tatum, the 20-year-old monster, he looked like a seasoned veteran this entire playoff run, especially in Game 7. I mean, he dunked on the greatest player in the league. That's crazy stuff. So he's going to have one more year under his belt. Al Horford is still going to be there. And you throw in Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward, this team is going to be super, super nice. Terry Rozier is going to still be there. Marcus Smart is a restricted free agent. I don't know how much money he's going to make this offseason. Maybe he won't be there because of the money reason. But majority of this team will be back next year. At least the parts that really matter. And I saw some things going on around Twitter. People like, man, Jason Tatum is so good that the Boston Celtics should trade Gordon Hayward. And I'm sitting there like, what? Have we forgot how good Gordon Hayward was? I mean, he played 5 minutes this season. So it's easy to forget. Just look at last season highlights. Look at last season numbers. Gordon Hayward is a stud. So I think this star lineup next year is going to be Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum at the 4, and then Al Horford at the 5. Jason Tatum had his periods of time this season where he was guarding 4s, when they went that small ball lineup. I think if he put on a little bit more muscle, he can guard majority of the 4s in the league. And then off the bench, you still got your Terry Roziers and things like that. This team is here. This team was 10 points away from being in the finals. Philly, on the other hand, I think they're still a bit away, right? I mean, look at it. They just lost to the Boston Celtics in the playoffs. They got their stars at Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. That is great. But their stars are super young, right? Their stars are super young. And I think the surrounding cast around them is a question mark. JJ Redick just had the best year of his career. He averaged 17 points per game on a 1-year deal with Philly. Do Philly bring him back? Did they bring him back this year? Because he was one of the most important pieces in their season. They're going to have to decide whether they want to bring him back. And another big question mark is what they do in free agency, because they do have money to go out and try to sign a big name player. So if they sign a big name player, then this question is irrelevant because we don't really know, But if we're basing on what their roster looks like today, I'm going to go Boston. I got no doubt in my mind that this team, if they stay healthy for next season, will be right back in the conference finals. And this time, I think they're going to have enough to win. If you had Kyrie Irving on that team in the last 2 minutes against the Cavs, it's a different story. In the last 2 minutes of Game 7, they were just chucking up shots hoping that they went in. Kyrie Irving is a guy that's poised and one of the clutches we have in this league. He'll hit you some shots. So I'm super excited for the future of this NBA. These are 2 teams that are going to be rivals for a very long time. Anthony Bennett is the worst #1 overall pick in NBA history. Facts, man. We think about the all-time bust. Probably one of the first things that come to mind is Anthony Bennett, because his bust is different than some of the other ones. Like, we got Greg Oden, we got the Sam Bowies of the world, where them not living up to expectations mostly because they have injuries. There was nothing holding Anthony Bennett back besides him just not really being a great basketball player to start off with. Even when he was drafted, right? The whole world was like, you taking him first? He was projected to go around 7 or 8. And Cleveland Cavaliers was like, man, this is our guy. This is our guy for our future, the future of our franchise, Anthony Bennett. Well, ain't really how it worked out, was it? He spent some time in the D League. It's tough, man. It's tough. And yeah, I would say he is the worst number 1 draft pick in history. I don't know what the Cavs were doing that day. Chris Bosh will make the Hall of Fame without a doubt. The Basketball Hall of Fame is very lenient. If you have a couple years where you were pretty good, maybe throwing a sprinkle in the championship or a defensive player of the year, just some awards here and there, you'll probably end up being in the Basketball Hall of Fame. So because of that, Chris Bosh will be there. 2-time champion, multiple-time All-Star. He had the biggest rebound in franchise history. If you don't get that rebound to kick it out to Ray Allen, that big 3 in Miami only wins 1 ring instead of 2. If you ask me, that's not that successful. So that rebound really saved their season, and potentially, like, it could have saved the legacy of LeBron. You think about it. Without that rebound, they lose that series, and now you got one. You got 1 championship out of that big 3 that was supposed to win. Not 6, not 7, not 8, just 1. Chris Bosh is a Hall of Famer, and I hope he hears me when I say this to him. Don't try to come back. We've seen players die on court before, right? Not necessarily NBA players, but just like players in general. Medical reasons, if your doctor tells you that you should not play, just listen to your doctors. They're usually right. We're gonna be waiting for your Hall of Fame speech, but it's not worth coming back, Chris. Giannis will win MVP next year. It's definitely possible. I mentioned in the other question about DeMar DeRozan that he is one of those guys that are like destined to win an MVP. His numbers look great. And the one thing that is holding him back is the fact that his team's success hasn't really been that great. If you think about it, early in the season, he was averaging like 35 points per game. We were like, man, this is the year of Giannis. This is Giannis' MVP year. But eventually his team sunk all the way down to the 7th seed. You're not going to be a 7th seed to win an MVP. Last year we had Russell Westbrook do it as the 4th seed, and that was even close to unheard of. So in order to win an MVP, you got to lead your team to a number 1 seed, a number 2 seed, and maybe a number 3 seed. And right now what the Bucks got in their organization, they don't got that. They don't have that in their roster. So they need to put together the roster around Giannis to make him succeed as a player and eventually help that team get to the point where they want to be. I mean, Giannis is only 23, so they got years to make that happen. I don't know if next year is his MVP year, but if it happened, I wouldn't be surprised because he is one of the more talented players we have in this league. Anthony Davis is a future top 3 player in this league. If you ask me, I think he is number 3. Yeah, I would say he's the number 3 player in the league right now. You got LeBron, you got your KD, and you got Anthony Davis. Now, you're probably asking, how do I have Anthony Davis over a guy like Stephen Curry or a guy like James Harden or even a guy like Russell Westbrook? And the reason I have him over them is the fact that he has everything. There's not a thing that he is subpar at all. When you talk about the Russell Westbrooks around the league, the James Hardens, the Stephen Curry, defensively, they just don't got it. But their offensive firepower, their offensive capabilities make them these great players. Anthony Davis has the defense along with the offense. He's got it. You think about it, what is he, 25 now? He's still pretty young, and for me, he is the number 3 player in the league. He averaged 27 this year, which I think was 3rd in the league, 2nd or 3rd in the league, and then he led the league in blocks too. He's got both sides of the ball, so for me, he is number 3. The Thunder would have been more successful if Steven Adams was more involved in the offense. I guess I can agree with that. Steven Adams is a guy that I don't see him as a guy that's like, give me the ball. He's not a give me the ball type player, but he is pretty talented offensively. So yeah, I guess they would. This year he averaged pretty good numbers though. But I think where their team success messed up is the fact that they don't have a coach that would really draw up a play or do anything in the system. And they don't have a coach that'll look their star player in the eye and tell them, this is what you need to do. I think Billy Donovan is one of those guys who's like, okay, Russell Westbrook's great, so let's just let him do his thing. When in reality, though Russell Westbrook is great, can you imagine how great he would be if he had some guidance and a great coach? That team success, well, yes, it would be better with Steven Adams, but it would be even better with a grade A coach. So maybe one day they'll figure it out. I mean, Billy Donovan ain't got fired, even though you can make an argument that he should be. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please leave a like. Again, these are all my opinions. I'm a very opinionated person, so you may not agree with everything I said in this video, but hopefully you found some type of entertainment in it. I hope you do have a great day. Remember what this day is about, y'all. Go out, enjoy your barbecues, enjoy your family, but at the end of the day, today is in remembrance of the men and women that laid down their life to help protect the country that I live in, the country that I love, and country that majority of our fans are in. So don't forget about them. Thank y'all so much. Peace.